Yo, what is up, DataZero family? You are back for another video with DataZero. This is your daily outlook prediction for stocks and cryptos. Videos not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's hop in the charts, facts, data, showing you what is going on for this week. Now remember, tomorrow is the day that warrants should start to be delivered. Depending on your broker, different people will get them different times. If you don't get them tomorrow, don't freak out. Make sure you contact your broker to make sure they support warrants, but you should be getting warrants as early as tomorrow and then heading into the rest of this week for GME. We want to see GME get over $32, and this is where some of that bullish pressure could come into play if GME is able to break and hold $32. Now, I've been talking about this for quite some time. GME is getting ready to break out of a macro accumulation. I believe that we're pulling back, filling some of the gaps right now, but I do believe we will see some recovery. And again, this is the blast off zone from about $32 to $35. If we can hold that level and push to the upside from there, especially with these warrants in play. Now, I just broke down a recent video where we talked about the recent filing for GME. Let me know in the comments down below as well. Do you guys think Roaring Kitty is coming back? Is Roaring Kitty coming back? GME recently posted this picture right here, and then Roaring Kitty had posted this picture previous. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think Roaring Kitty is coming back anytime soon, but you guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys think this means Roaring Kitty is coming back because GameStop posted this? I think it has to more do with promotion, and then if GameStop could also drive up hype a little bit, maybe getting some Roaring Kitty speculation in the mix, because we've seen just speculation of him being around pump the stock as well. So maybe if they could get a little bit of that speculation, they wouldn't mind that as well. But I believe this is more of just a promotional thing in my personal opinion. GameStop did post the same picture, except it says Pokemon and GameStop and then more shiny codes. And then this is the Roaring Kitty original post where he had the cat in his pocket. Obviously, this means this is Roaring Kitty, this is GameStop. So slightly different meaning in my personal opinion. I think this is a promotional piece. Also, just Bitcoin news, and I'll be talking about this in the Bitcoin section, but Bitcoin's hitting new all-time highs. You want to be aware of this. GME also does hold Bitcoin so that it is bullish, especially for next earnings if Bitcoin remains up. AMC had the Taylor Swift event. I recently just posted that the seats were basically sold out in my area. I did not go down to the theater, but Adam Aaron is saying that they did take over. I want to see some numbers from this, and if we get some solid numbers from this, this should help AMC as well. Now, we saw them dump a bunch of short shares on AMC today, especially early in the morning, so we got this drop down to the downside. We have this gap fill to the upside now here for AMC at 307 up to 308, and you guys can see that AMC is holding this 290 to 295 range as support. It looks like what most likely is going to happen is that we came down, we're using this level of support, and we're going to push up. Overall, when in doubt, zoom out. We definitely want to get back above the trend line, but you guys can see we broke below this trend line before. We broke below here, we broke below here, and now we have broken below it again. If we can get a bounce and get back up, we are going to come all the way back up for this gap fill and most likely make a higher high than this 318. But regardless of what happens, we are still in an overall uptrend, as you guys can see, ever since I called the bottom at 267 when we made this inverse head and shoulders and pushed to the upside after holding 280. You guys can see that if we do not get back above this trend line, there is a chance that we could come down to 282 or 275. But what it looks like right now, to me, in my personal opinion, is that AMC is going to be going over 295, most likely as early as tomorrow, and pushing back towards $3. So be aware of that. AMC up here slightly in after hours. I think the recovery is set for tomorrow, as we did have a decent down day today. GameStop did hit the price target of $25. I gave this price target earlier today on the live stream. I believe that we're going to hold this as support. I believe that GameStop is also going to set up for recovery tomorrow. You guys can see that ever since that news and insiders taking profits, which I did talk about in that video, and ever since also the warrant recorded liquidity date has been over, because we saw buying pressure coming into it because people were scrambling to get shares to get those warrants, and shorts were scrambling to get shares to get those warrants. Now you guys can see we've been in an overall downtrend. I did talk about how people, insiders did take profits, and talked about how this filing took play into that as well. We've been in this overall downtrend coming down, filling multiple gap fills to the downside. We still do have a couple gap fills to the downside here for GME, but it looks like GME is staged for recovery. You guys can see that here on the hourly time frame. RSI is clearly trending up. Price is trending down. This is bullish divergence. This means GME is going to flatten out and correct up. I believe we're going to see the rest of the flattening out process continue tomorrow, and then from tomorrow moving into Wednesday and Thursday, we should see GME start to recover around these levels. I do not believe GME is going to be going below 24.50, 24.33 support and my resistance, in my personal opinion. So this is what we're looking at for GME. I think that we're going to see not only recovery starting tomorrow for AMC, but for GME as well. And you guys can see right here on the screen is the white dotted line prediction that I have as we flatten out and then correct back to the upside as this bullish divergence on the hourly and 2-hour time frame starts to play out. You guys can see RSI trending up, price trending down. That is bullish divergence. You guys can see that the MACD is starting to curl up here on the hourly time frame. We're starting to build bullish momentum, and this is showing me that we are going to see a sign of recovery here for GME. If GME is able to hold $25 tomorrow, you should see it push up to about $25.40 pretty quickly, and that's going to be the signal of the recovery. If we're able to hold $25.90 and keep that level, that means GME is officially recovered. So this is what we're looking at for AMC and GME. Again, they dumped a lot of short shares on us to get us down. Also, we had some bad news here for GME. 2 million short shares at time of recording here for GME at 0.39% cost to borrow, and then AMC sitting at 0.61% cost to borrow. Cost to borrow definitely moving in the right direction here for AMC. Love to see that cost to borrow go higher. This is bullish. Want to see cost to borrow at 1% or higher, and only 1.1 million short shares here for AMC. So that should alleviate some of that bearish pressure and help us see that recovery that I am looking for tomorrow. And I think we are going to see recovery this week, in my personal opinion. So you guys can believe what you want. I don't think it is over till it's over. Both of the meme stocks in an overall uptrend. When in doubt, zoom out. We're making higher lows and higher highs, and I believe this trend is going to continue for AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market, and then we'll move into cryptocurrency and wrap up this video. So normally there would be data drops this week, but we're not having any data drops until the government shutdown is done, and right now that government shutdown is still in effect. So I'm going to say that right off the bat. Now, SPY is pulling back here in after hours. What I think we're going to see is a slight recovery pre-market to a drop down heading into market open. Then when market opens, we find a bottom and start to push back up towards 671.38. If SPY loses the level of 669.71, expect more downside. I believe that SPY is going to start pushing up towards 671.38 and actually head towards the level of 672.27 as early as tomorrow. I believe that we're seeing some resistance here for SPY right now, but it is going to start recovering heading into tomorrow, but that is going to start off slow. Now overall, when in doubt, zoom out. I think that we are nearing a potential top here for SPY and NASDAQ. It doesn't mean that it can't continue up later, but it just keeps going up. RSI is getting overbought, and the SQQQ pattern is still tracking. You guys can see I have this white dotted line prediction here. We have this overall falling wedge. It looks like SQQQ is going to push up. This is an index that moves inverse of NASDAQ. So when you see bullish indications on this, this normally means bearish indications for NASDAQ. NASDAQ is what is really controlling everything because it's made up mostly of the Mag 7 and tech stocks, which is what's driving all of this stuff. The AI, the tech bubble, that's what's really driving SPY and NASDAQ higher and higher and higher. Also, you can see here on NASDAQ, we have this rising wedge. We've seen this similar before where we had this rising wedge and it kind of broke down out of it, but traveled up, but then it still had a breakdown. We're seeing something very similar here where we broke down out of it, we're traveling up, and I believe we are going to see a breakdown. You guys can see RSI getting into that overbought territory here on the 4-hour time frame. If we go to the daily time frame, you guys can see we're overbought here on NASDAQ as well. So the markets are really frothy. Here you can see here on the weekly time frame sitting at 73 here for NASDAQ. Markets are really frothy right now. SPY sitting at 72. So again, you cannot just keep going up, but I do think we're going to see a little bit of recovery heading into tomorrow. But I think overall we're getting near what's going to be a local top where we have to see a correction down before possibly continuing up, or the bubble may pop and we could see a capitulation down. We'll talk about that if that happens, but as of right now, I think SPY is going to be recovering tomorrow. We are seeing a little bit pullback here on after hours, but I don't think that's going to be anything that is continuing tomorrow. I think SPY is going to head towards 671.38, and that is my PT for tomorrow. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and head into crypto, and then we'll wrap up the video. So Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs. Bitcoin has officially not only hit my price target, so we have hit all price targets for BTC, the 80K, the 100K, which we called out in 2022 and 2023 when I called the bottom at 15K. Now we have hit the 115K price target and the 125K price target. Also, Bitcoin seems to be decoupling from this fractal, which has been tracking for over 2 years, which means something very special could be coming here for the crypto market. There are several indications here which I broke down in the live stream. If you guys want to see more details on that, make sure you guys check that out. But there's several indications here on the Bitcoin rainbow chart and in the analysis itself, the chart itself, that's saying that we still have room to run. If you go ahead and look at BTC here, now the monthly RSI is one thing that I'm a little bit disturbed on, but it's only at 72, and we have ran hot before in the past. You guys can see it's went as high as 87 and 90 here in the past on the monthly time frame. Weekly time frame, we still have room to run. As you guys can see, RSI is only at 65, and RSI has run very hot here in the past for BTC, heading all the way up to 93 and 83 here in these previous pushes to the upside. So we have room to run here on RSI. Bitcoin rainbow chart, we've had the halving. Every time after a halving, you normally see these big spikes up into the orange and red zone on the Bitcoin rainbow chart. You guys can see after each halving and shortly after that, a few months after that, a year after that, we've ran into those zones. We have not done that yet. Bitcoin's still sitting in the buy/accumulate zone, and we have not ran up into these deeper orange and red levels where it's hodl, is this a bubble, FOMO intensifies, seriously sell, and maximum bubble territory, which is putting Bitcoin at quite insane price targets, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing a supply shock for BTC, in my personal opinion, and I think Bitcoin potentially is about to make another leg up. Now, 130 is definitely on the cards, but we want to be careful right now. Bitcoin's been on an absolute tear, pushing up hard. So if it were to have a correction down here in the short term, I would not be worried about that, because it definitely just ripped to the upside. I did call out this bullish accumulation, this pennant here, and this double bottom that we found, saying that we would make a new all-time high. We definitely did make a new all-time high, but you guys can see RSI is very overbought. It's getting frothy. So if Bitcoin were to pull back down to like 122, 120, even 118.5, I would not be concerned. In fact, I think that's going to be happening soon, and then we will continue up towards 130. I think 130 is definitely on the cards. That's not an official price target from me yet, but if we do get to 130 and hold that level, that's where things could get really interesting, as we could see this thing make another massive leg to the upside. And that's normally what Bitcoin likes to do. It likes to consolidate, push up, consolidate, push up, consolidate, push up, consolidate, making legs to the upside after a consolidation period. You guys can see this bull flag here. It made a nice leg up, and it's done that so on and so forth. The more you zoom out, you guys can see it likes to consolidate, push up, consolidate, push up. It does that all the time. So I believe that's what we're seeing here. We could definitely see something special. I think 5K ETH is also coming. We have this falling wedge in play. So I think ETH is going to make a new all-time high here, indicating that we're going to see a decent move from Bitcoin, because again, Bitcoin has to move because Bitcoin still controls the crypto market. Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high. So when Bitcoin pushes up, altcoins will push up. So if you want to see your favorite altcoin move up, you want to be paying attention to Bitcoin. You want to be rooting for Bitcoin, because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more and more chance that these altcoins have to pump. You guys can see that Ethereum has broken out of a macro accumulation and is now making a falling wedge here, which looks like it's going to push past the all-time high of 4.9, possibly 5K. I think 5K ETH is inevitable. I think that Cardano ADA is also tracking with my prediction here, setting up for a breakout after this accumulation as well. We should see ADA go up to like 108, 125, possibly much, much higher. ADA kind of undervalued in my personal opinion, because you guys can see coins like XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin have all made all-time highs. ADA's all-time high is 310, so that leaves a lot of room to the upside with little risk to the downside, so that's a good trade setup there. XRP you want to see remain and hold above $3. If XRP is able to remain and hold above $3, there's a chance that could go for the major support and resistance of $3.31. If XRP is able to hold that 331, that's where things could get interesting. We could go towards the all-time high of 366. And if XRP is able to break and hold 366, we could head towards the price target of $384, which is my price target for XRP by 2026. So we've been very, very accurate on crypto price targets. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, as we've been getting all of those targets. That way you know it's going to happen before it happens. I believe altcoins have a chance to be making moves as well. Here in October, it could be Uptober for altcoins, because as you guys can see, the SEC is potentially preparing to drop several ETFs for coins like Solana, XRP, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. These are most likely going to be spot ETFs. We already do have some spot ETFs for XRP out, but we want to see more of them out with bigger names like BlackRock. That way it drives up demand, especially for these coins that have fixed caps like XRP, Cardano, ADA, and Bitcoin. They have fixed maximum supplies, which is very, very bullish, especially Bitcoin, because it has the built-in mechanism of the halving as well, which basically limits the amount of rewards that you get. It halves it every time the rewards you get for mining a BTC, which helps trickle down the supply, causing supply shocks, and the reason why we normally see those rallies after this halving. So we haven't got that yet. I think we could potentially see something special here for BTC, especially as the dollar devalues and rates getting cut. That's also speeding up things. Right now in the short term, it's going to seem like a good thing, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you guys, it's going to speed up not only the debt, but also the devaluation of a dollar. And I believe they're going to lower rates again, which is going to flush even more liquidity in the markets. And you're going to see things like gold, silver, and Bitcoin go to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Not financial advice, stack assets. Dollars are literally trash. I'm talking to everyday people, man, and they're saying they're losing faith in the dollar. So if people that aren't even in finance are losing faith in the dollar, it's literally over. The Ponzi scheme's up, ladies and gentlemen. So stack assets, not financial advice. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And if you watch to the end of the video, man, I appreciate you guys. This was your daily outlook prediction for stocks and crypto. Again, BTC could be seeing a little bit of downside here in the short term, but I believe we're going to continue up possibly towards 130 here. I want to watch very, very closely on what we do next, but it looks like BTC is about to make a nasty leg to the upside. I'll be breaking that down for you guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Check out the live streams if you want to support the channel. You can also check out the merch store as well. I also have a Discord, exclusive technicals, plays, and information. If you want to get in that, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, linked in the comment section description below. $100 for a lifetime invite, paid by a PayPal and Cash App. And as always, y'all, make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.